This class is the second chapter, the second class in helping you to start your own computer retail business. If you've been to the first class, and I hope that you have, you know that I've been around the computer industry since 1978, and I've also operated a successful computer repair business since 1997. That business is called On Track Computers. It's at East Hampton, Connecticut in the Northeast U.S., and if you're ever in the area, come and visit. Love to meet you. If not, please visit our webpage at ontrackcomputer.com. Let me tell you, a lot's changed during those 16 years, and I want to give you the benefit of my 25 plus years of business experience so that I can help to shortcut your path to success, and so that you can be insanely profitable by avoiding some common pitfalls, things that I had to learn the hard way. Today we'll talk about 3 common mistakes that people make in setting up and running their computer repair business. Actually, these mistakes can apply to just about any type of business, but we'll limit it to the computer repair business model here. Actually, there are 6 possible mistakes, common mistakes, but we're only going to start with these important 3. These pitfalls are easy to avoid if you're looking for them, but they're also easy to miss. Any one of them, though, can suck the energy and the money out of you and your business. So taking care of business in these 3 areas will propel you on the way towards business profitability, success, and smooth sailing. That's what we all want. So let's begin. The first speed bump that many new computer repair people hit has to do with consistency. I know, because you're watching this short video on YouTube or on my website, arnieoldcomputerguy.com, that you value your time and you don't want to waste time. We're all in a hurry these days, it seems, and we're all overwhelmed with too much information. But succeeding in business sometimes require that you understand some core concepts that don't exactly lend themselves to a 30-second explanation. So I'll be brief and I'll give you a summary, but I'm going to point you towards a great book that you should read, that you need to read, that will make you tens of thousands of dollars just by reading it and understanding the concepts in there. The book is called The E-Myth, and it's written by Michael Gerber. The E-Myth, capital letter E, by Michael Gerber. Read it. While we're having this short chat, though, I'll summarize a key point from it. There's a difference between being a skilled worker and being a business owner. I know every one of us who's ever held a job is confident that we could do a better job than our boss, and we felt that performing our work, that we were really running the business. But I got news for you. It ain't true. Before you find that out the hard way, let's have a heart-to-heart chat for a minute based on my 25 years as a business owner. There are a lot of great businesses around us, and if you really look, one thing that they have in common that keeps them going year after year is a consistent product, customer experience, and image. You know, people are funny. Some like to try new things all the time, and that would be me. If every day was different than the previous, I would be ecstatic. But most people take comfort in the familiar. They like doing things over and over. They like the familiarity and constancy of a business system, of a business being stable. So your job as a business owner is to develop a system, rules, if you will, for how you will handle your business, what you charge, and how you interact with your customers. After all, in just a few short months, you will have seen and repeated a pretty routine dialogue over and over and over with your customers. They call, you listen, you explain your fees and the repair process, you set an appointment, you meet them, you diagnose the problem, you shake hands, you collect their money, and then you do it over and over. What you want to do is to realize that everything in this process matters. I'm going to say that again. Everything matters. And that you have control over most of the sales process. So you have power here. So go out and create a brand. Create a culture. When you go into your favorite store or restaurant, from the Apple Store to Nordstrom's to McDonald's, there's a certain way we do things here that becomes familiar and comforting and feels like home. You get to create that culture in your business. Is it a fun experience to speak with you? Are you upbeat and anxious to serve when they first hear your voice on the phone? Are there pleasant surprises for the customer along the way in the sales and repair process? Or are you just getting by, doing the minimum, charging the most, and doing the least? Here are just 4 things that I do in my business that create a kind of culture and mood, just to give you an example. The first thing I spoke to you about in the first video. When a customer calls and asks what our diagnostics fee is, I pause and I answer, we charge $0. You know, I've been looking for a way to reduce that, but I haven't been successful yet. I never liked paying diagnostic fees myself, so I assumed that my customers wouldn't either. I treat my customers like family, you know. So now you have a brother-in-law in the computer business who will take care of you. Well, it may sound a little bit like a wise guy, but with those few words, I'm breaking the ice with a little bit of humor, and people see that I'm more interested in treating them right than in charging them up the nose. People like buying from people that they like, and I've made a move in the right direction. So here's a second example. I realized that people were pretty stressed that their computer was broken, and when they were beginning to replay the coming inconvenience in their mind as I saw them coming into our store, I realized that bringing the physical computer into us represented to them carrying a burden. It was something that had gone wrong, something that had gone bad. So we thought about how we could give a gesture to relieve them of that burden. And now when someone comes through the door, we rush over to them, no matter who it is in our staff, with our arms outstretched to take the problem. And we use words like, let me take that misbehaving thing from you so that we can make it better. It sounds silly, but people, other than us techies, really do think of their cars and computers as friends when they're working. And they give them names and little pet names. It's important and welcome to our customers for us to use language like, we'll have you up and running in no time, or we'll clean out that slow computer and you won't believe how fast it'll run. Simple things, but they connect with our customers in human, real ways. Third, people will always give you an idea of how long they were expecting to leave the repair. We'll try to get that info from them, and we promise it in that time frame so that we can mirror them or echo that time frame. Then we'll do something internally at our store, and we'll do everything that we can to get it done earlier. The sales concept behind this is called under-promise and over-deliver. Here's the psychology. Let's say that a customer brings in the same computer repair on a Tuesday. At store A, they promise it for Friday afternoon. But late on Thursday, they call the customer that it's ready. The customer expected it to take 3 days, but it was done in 2, and the customer is happy. Store A under-promised, and they over-delivered, and to the customer, they're heroes. Now let's replay the same scenario on Tuesday at store B. At store B, however, they promised it for Wednesday afternoon, but when the customer finally calls on Wednesday, it isn't done. And the store finally calls them on Thursday at noon, but the customer is stressed that they didn't keep their promise. They overpromised and underdelivered. Bad, bad, bad. So here's the funny part. If you look at it, store A actually took longer to fix the PC than store B. Store A had it ready on Thursday afternoon. Store B had it ready on Thursday morning. But store A, because they promised it, because they underpromised it, came out smelling like roses. They beat their expectation. The reason, again, is that the customer's expectation, not the actual time that it took, is what's important. I think you get the idea. A final thing that we do is to discount every invoice. It sounds silly. Why would we do that? Well, frankly, nobody wants to pay full price, so everybody gets at least 5% off. If it's a new customer, on our invoice it has a discount line and it says, welcome new customer, 5% discount. If it's a return customer, it says discount preferred customer, 5%. We have other discounts for groups and for senior citizens too, but the point is everyone gets a little pleasant surprise at the time that they pay. Just adjust your rates initially accordingly. A final treat was something that I discovered when I ran the IT department for the school district in our town. I realized that the nature of my role was to receive calls from angry people when their equipment wasn't working, so that isn't exactly the ideal situation for a job. I wanted to find something small to leave with them to show that I recognized that they'd been inconvenienced. So I bought these individually wrapped Dove premium chocolates and found that 2 of them fit perfectly on the computer keyboard just above the arrow keys. There's 2 little slots there on the keyboard. And that became my calling card when I did a repair. Now, 6 years later, I still bump into teachers and staff that tell me that they miss my chocolates. Little things are small indulgences that make ordinary moments into something a little bit brighter. Instead of just doing the work, pay attention to the recurring patterns that you have with your customers and add a little something to them. When you start your own business, you have the chance to undo all the thousands of bad experiences that you've encountered with lousy salespeople and incompetent employees. You're up at bat now. Show the world that you and your business are different. Show them that you care and that you listen. So all of that talk, just to get across one point. The point of course, is that you can create a whole world. You can create a culture around your business that will signal to people that you're different. If you're the type of person who's used to talking about stupid customers behind their back, this might not be the right business move for you. I'm suggesting that you come to genuinely like your customers and to bring out the best of them, and they'll bring out the best in you. They'll reward you with referrals and with repeat business for many years, and you'll build, literally, a family of customers. Point 2 relates to this, and it involves what I call building a brand. Think good and hard about what your business name is going to be, and get something that's easy to remember and that describes what you do. If you get something fancy and cool like Smoth, which I just made up, you may have a killer logo and sign done and all kinds of cool graphics, but you will forever be explaining to people what the heck you do. Once you do settle on a name, get a logo done. And your logo just might be your name enclosed in a box in a certain typeface and color, but use it the same way and use it everywhere. If you have a tagline, a little something that appears under your logo like PC and Mac repair done fast and right or something like that, use that together with your logo always. The combination of those colors and those words on a sign, on your invoice, on a business card, on a magnetic car sign, on your web page, on a computer sticker, all make impressions over and over and over in your customer's mind. So be sure that they're all uniform and that they say the same thing. That's creating a brand. Along the same lines, decide what business you're in and stick to it. You know, we're all smart people, and we probably have a diversity of lots of different interests and lots of different abilities. But focus in this business on what you're going to do. And that sometimes means saying no to someone who wants to divert you off into some other distraction. If you're in this business, as I said, you're probably of the higher IQ variety, and you probably are just multi-talented. That's the way you are. But resist the urge to do everything. Just focus on doing a few things exceptionally well. Build your brand with your consistency and professionalism and your business name and logo over and over and over. And those 3 things will drill into your customer's brain as one, as long as you are consistent with them. So that's the second point. Build a brand. Always use your business name and logo everywhere, and it'll become real, and it'll become associated with your good work. Your job is to build a good name in the marketplace. Now, on to point 3. If looks could kill. Actually, looks, or the wrong looks, can and do kill a lot of business for a lot of people. Sadly, or perhaps thankfully, they often aren't even aware of it. I'm speaking about the looks side of being professional. I hate to be accused of being gender favoring, but I'm mostly talking to the guys out there. No matter where people go, women seem to have a sixth sense about slightly overdressing that works to their advantage. Guys, particularly guys who've been holed up in their basement for the past dozen years, overclocking motherboards and ruling large kingdoms in virtual space, sometimes need a kick in the pants about what the rest of the world thinks is normal. You might be able to pick out the SATA hard drive from the SSD drive from the IDE drive, but the rest of the world thinks that bringing in their hard drive to your shop means the whole case. So while you've been busy focused on minutiae, they've also been busy interacting socially and formally in zillions of businesses and fine-tuning their language and dress to fit in. And you haven't been a part of that. So here's a fact. Computer geeks and nerds are outliers, at least socially. Frankly, it's something that we may not care about. We may actually be proud of it. We've come to create an underground subculture of dark-dwelling creatures, and we earn respect for one another by our technical prowess and knowledge. And between us, we get along just fine. So, unfortunately, I'm going to be a bit harsh with you. Here's some tough love, but it's going to make you a lot of money. Most people out there who are not geeks and who need our services desperately are going to judge us by how we look and not what we know. I'm going to say that again. Most people who need our services are going to judge us by how we look. Over and over, I've seen brilliant technicians and programmers denied well-deserving promotions in corporate America because they look weird. You would think that in this overly conscious world of gender equality and racial equality and handicapped accessibility that we would come to lovingly accept each other as equal. But the real world really doesn't work that way. There are a few companies like Facebook and Google and Apple that have some quirks in their culture regarding dress and appearance, but even they conform. And I'm guessing that most of your repair work in your new computer business isn't going to be with Apple and Google. So here's the quick list. I'm actually going to steal this from a work order that I got from a Fortune 100 company. I've been around this industry for many years, and I pride myself on being able to geek out with some pretty intense and creative and weird people, but also to be able to schmooze up partners at an up-and-coming law firm. When I read this, it made me nauseous. Not because of the words that were written, but because the appearance of those words on a work order inferred that grown-up people in this industry didn't know these things, that someone should have told them in middle school. So here's where we're going to start. Here's what the work order said. The dress is business casual. Khakis or dress slacks and collared shirt are required. No jeans, shorts, or t-shirts. No hats, sandals, flip-flops, sneakers, or tennis shoes. No exceptions. Now, think to the way that you're comfortable dressing and the way that you would recreationally dress when you're just hanging around, and it probably includes some of those things, t-shirts and jeans and shorts and sandals and flip-flops and sneakers and such. But none of those are going to help you when you're in your business, when you're out into the marketplace, out into the world. Now, our computer work involves sometimes going into the office of a large national corporation. And no one that I know who does IT consulting or repair would ever consider wearing anything on that list to a business meeting or to repair a computer when they're working with classy people in a nice office. Frankly, many people in business, especially attorneys, usually wear three-piece suits and certainly a tie and jacket, so just by being there, we're underdressed. And we as workers are usually spared some of this formality, so the guideline for us is something known in the world as business casual. And just so that you know, business casual is pretty easy. It means pants, a collared shirt, socks, and shoes. Assuming that they're pressed and cleaned, a pair of Dockers and a button-down shirt is fine. In the summer, the shirt might even get downgraded even more to include a solid colored golf shirt. Solid socks are always required, and if you enjoy comfortable casual shoes, there's a great brand called Rock Sports that weigh in at about 5 ounces, but they look nice and they are incredibly comfortable if you're going to be walking around all day. So think of these couple of things, the pants, collared shirt, and shoes, as your uniform. And pick up enough pair of these things to work with your laundry schedule so that every day you put on cleaned, pressed clothes. If you have your own business, you probably want to get away from actually wearing a uniform, so I'm not going to go there. But this basic stuff will serve you well. What I ended up doing was to order some solid color work shirts that have a small logo of mine on them that I also love. You can go whichever way you want, but keep that general uniform in mind. Express yourself and let your hair down at night and on weekends with friends, but I'm telling you that fitting in the middle here a bit is going to make you rich. And not doing some of those conforming things is going to leave you broke. I'm sorry for the bad news. Someone had to tell you, looks do count. On this topic now, we've got the business casual uniform addressed. We need to look at the little extras that sometimes people bring to the party that are also going to be business stoppers. Again, I'm not saying that this is right. I'm just saying that it is. Maybe in a few hundred years we'll evolve as a civilization to genuinely respect people for what's inside, not outside. But unless you want to wait that process out in a food line, here's the rest of the tough love. I've made a short list of things that are turnoffs to your business. Check your own lifestyle and preferences and see if any of these are on your list. Cigarette smoking, tattoos, multicolored hair, facial piercings, political messages, religious messages, and long hair on men. So that's the short list. As I said before, I don't really care if you have or enjoy these things. But I do want you to be aware that if you display these things in the business world, that doors will close for you and you will earn less, maybe a lot less, because of it. That's not to say that you won't run into many, many people working in business who have one or two of these attributes. I'm just giving you the list. But what you will find is that most people who run businesses, and these are the people who will be hiring you and paying you, are usually on the conservative side. And that means pretty much without all of the above. I'm not going to belabor this. I just wanted to get the list out there. And remember, my goal is I want you to make a lot of money. So here's a quick review. We talked about your being able to build your own culture in your own business, in your new business. You can offset all of the poor customer service experiences that you've had in your life now by doing it right and doing it differently yourself. Second, we talked about working in small indulgences, little things that show you're paying attention to your customers and that you care. At the end of the day, that's all that we really need. It's all that anyone really needs. A little attention and to feel like someone cares. Finally, we spoke about the way that you will present yourself. I'd suggest a basic set of business casual clothes and leave the crazy stuff home for the party on Sunday. As much as it may hurt, the more television-like middle America that you look, the less resistance that you will have to overcome when you actually meet middle America and ask them to engage your services. So there. That was a bit blunt and difficult, but I said it. If you embrace these three things in your business, you'll have a fun, profitable business that everyone feels comfortable bringing their computer to. That's my goal with you, to maximize your profit and your success. I'm Arnie, the old computer guy. Be sure and subscribe to my channel on YouTube. Leave a comment if you like, and visit our webpage at arnieoldcomputerguy.com. I've enjoyed coaching you today. Thanks for visiting. Here's to your success in the computer repair business.